Oliver.
Hi, Andrea.
Great to have you here today. I would like to talk with you about sanctions today. My first question is, why is it that SIX as an exchange group is offering a sanctions screening service?
That's actually an interesting point. I think the regulators have been always focusing on KYC, know your customer, and anti-money laundering, where you're looking at the client base that a bank has or that into incoming or outgoing transactions. But since 2014, with the Crimea crisis, the regulators have geared up, and there is now sectoral sanctions that are effectively focusing onto the financial markets, where it was prohibited to raise new capital via debt instruments to a certain number of Russian banks in order to finance that war. This is why now financial markets are in scope.
Mm-hmm. I see. And what is like the challenges that our customers, the banks, encounter in complying with the sanctions regulations?
I think the challenge is to keep up with the amount of new sanctions that we have seen recently. It is also a data challenge that you need to source all the relevant data in order to link it to your portfolio or your client base. And then the sheer complexity of the different sanction programs that are issued by the various regulators. On top, it may seem that the G7 is aligned on the approach, but if you dig deeper, there is often different application dates, and this is a challenge to follow.
Mm-hmm. I assume my next question won't be too much of a surprise. So what or how does SIX help our clients to face those challenges, to navigate sanctions, actually?
So SIX, we are a data specialist. We are sourcing over 1,500 sources. So for us, it is our bread and butter business to source all that sanction regulation. So this goes with loading in a sanctions regulation or sanction list from 11 regulators and then normalizing that data. We are also looking into other programs, like, for instance, where the regulator is sanctioning specific sectors like the mining sector or the energy sector. That's already the data points that we have, and there we can only connect the dots. Another point is just that you need to have all these data points in your system before the sanction kicks in. And we have this data, so we are already timely to deliver that data to our clients.
That sounds quite impressive, to be honest. And I know that you're an expert in the field of sanctions. So that leads me to my last question. What is the latest trends you see coming from the regulators?
So we have very clearly seen that also when it comes to fines, the regulators have extended from KYC and AML really to also securities compliance. So we have seen a first fine against the bank for the processing of sanctioned securities. The other trend that I see is also that they're moving more and more away from the direct linked securities to the indirect links. So this is tainted ETFs, tainted options, etc. We also have recently seen that a whole exchange group, MOEX in Russia, was sanctioned. So this is something really that they want to dry out the financial markets in order for Russia not to be able to finance that war. And another point is also that we see often trade restrictions, specifically in the US, issued by the Department of Commerce. So there was recently an initiative from the US Congress that was also looking into the investment of the US pension systems into these Chinese companies that are under trade restrictions but not yet under financial restrictions. So we'll see how this evolves.
Wow, Oliver, really interesting trends, I'd say, and also beautiful insights into how SIX truly makes a difference with data. It was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you.
Thanks for having me, Andrea. Bye.